It's a he said, she said.
I understand, but you're talking about what a defense lawyer would do. We're talking about prosecutors who have serious doubts about this witness. And you mentioned rushing to the plane.
Yeah.
Apparently, that is debatable. I mean, he was seen having a leisurely lunch with his daughter.
Yeah, they have the
Was it
videotape.
also debatable about the woman that jumped up and over in France that said that she was sexually assaulted by him? There was no evidence to that fact. But
10 years ago, yes, part of the media frenzy.
We can argue back and forth all you want.
What's your reaction? When you heard the news last night, what was your reaction?
I knew it was going to go this way because
Why did you know that?
Because that's how the defense was going. My friend Bart Schwartz was the private investigators that got involved with this case. He's a very fine former United States prosecutor. What it was all about was developing enough evidence to take a character that she's not truthful. And now you have her saying that she didn't have AIDS. Now you have her with the testimony.
Yeah.
She's talking to one of her friends. Hey, guess what? You know what? I can make a lot of money. This is headlines out. Guess what? Also, the fact that she had money going into her account. Now they established the fact that there was illegal going on. She's destroyed now because you can't put her on the stand. Anything she says, the jury won't believe it.
Let me ask you something. Are you a little concerned with how the prosecutor's office handled this case? This is a man, this isn't, he's not a Joe Schmo like us, okay? This is a guy who has an international standard.
And that's exactly why they had to react the way they reacted. Because if he was able to leave, we wouldn't have had our hands on him. And you couldn't. She had to look at until all the cards are on the table. You had to make sure he was held here. Look at that little creep, that director guy that raped the young girl there. Polanski took off. We never got him. All right. With that said, they had enough official evidence to lock him up on her statements. So I mean, they didn't do anything wrong. The police department. They held him. They wanted to make sure he wouldn't flight.
One thing I want to say though about the New York Times story. Yes, there are problems with her credibility, but they're not speaking specifically to her allegations. I mean, okay, she may have had a friend in jail talking to him on the phone. Maybe, hey, you can make money out of this.
Right.
Nothing, at least that I've seen so far, necessarily undermines the story. Somebody who lies, somebody who hangs out with drug dealers could still be the victim of a sexual assault.
And you could be an illegal alien here in this country, and you could be a victim, and you should be able to be protected by our law. You know, they always said the best place for us to do a stick-up, Greg, and you and I are drug dealers. We'll go stick up some drug dealers because they're doing something illegal, and they're not going to call the cops on us, right? And I mean, the way this is winding down here now, the way they leaked the story here, this looks like it's totally collapsing, and he might walk today. I definitely think they're going to take the bail off him today. They'll say, look, we're going to have another hearing. Please come back on a certain date. But they won't have enough to hold him on any kind of bail.
Well, this is not overzealous prosecutors who thought that this was great publicity. Jump on the bandwagon. Let's indict a ham sandwich.
This is our law. Now, if we go back into there, if we go away, we go out to dinner, and all of a sudden I'm driving you home, and then all of a sudden you kiss me, I kiss you, and then you say, well, Beau pushed himself on me. You go to the Quad Police Department and say, Beau pushed himself. I will be arrested on your statement. You know what? That's our law. That's what it's all about. Right. He said, she said. And that's the problem. Exactly. And you know what? There's a lot of people who had consensual sex, and all of a sudden the gal turns around and says, well, he raped me. I mean, just think about it. You can be arrested, Greg. So when you go out with these gals, be careful, Greg. That's it.
Beau.
Okay.
Let's please leave me out of this.
Okay. You only get
Just do that.
And your tie is great today.
Appreciate the advice. One thing that we could all do, though, in the media is perhaps take a deep breath the next something like this happens.
Well,
No. I mean, look, headline after headline, report after report, dragging this guy. You know, it was pretty bad there for a while. Bonfire of the vanities.
Okay, but again, this is the way our law is structured, and the detective certainly couldn't let him flee. I mean, he was ready. Feet don't fail me now. He's ready to take off and go. You've got to hold him back so you can have a trial with him.
You know, they said that one of the reports that maybe they were going to ask him to take a plea deal of a misdemeanor.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Brofman's too smart for that.
His attorney's
Ben
not going to
Brofman's
take
a very
that,
smart lawyer. He's not going to tell you, you got all the cards in your hand. You're not going to plead to anything. You know, that's something that's really.
So meanwhile, then our diplomatic relation, well, you know, France, they don't like us too much to begin with.
Yeah, The thing is that the French people, for some reason, forget about two wars: the World War I, World War II, when we liberated France and when we helped them out, those Nazi guys.
You know what?
And then when I went over to Paris, I'd call up on the phone. I'd be in the George Sang Hotel, and the guy would say, "Speak of French, don't speak English. You're in Paris." I said, "Look, I want room service. Room service, you know."
Well, you know what? You're right. They forget about World War I, World War II. Sometimes we forget about the Revolutionary War.
Hack it.
France helped us during the revolution. We may not have an America if it wasn't for
Or
France.
maybe it doesn't go back that far.
And guess what? How about the Statue of Liberty? Happy 125 years. Thank you again, France. I like France.
I like France too. I like French food. I like that big baguette stuff. I like the old cheeses and all
Not
that.
the banquet or the baguette.
That stuff, you know, the nice bread, the crispy.
Look, I like France. I'm not saying they're not difficult running away, all that stuff. They can be fit.
You know, Greg, real fast. You guys got the great show on Fox called The House, the doctor that finds out what
Dr.
else.
House.
So with all these with all these hacking of corporations, Sony, Citibank, and all that. So I found these guys who are ethical hackers, and what we do is we go into corporations, no charge to the corporation. We go into corporation, we show them where their deficiencies is, and then all of a sudden we close it up and we remediate the problem. And then what we do is, because every corporation is vulnerable now, so we send these ethical hackers in there.
Your company does this?
Yeah. And what we do, Greg, it's very important because every company now is vulnerable to this. They have all these CIOs and all that. It's all great.
CIOs, CEOs.
CIOs, Chief Information Officers. And what happens is, I set it up like this. I don't charge you any money. Just let me go into your corporation. I'll show you your problems and how to fix them. And then we go in there. So now I become the hackatious specialist, like the house. I will find out what's the matter with
You're
you.
Dr. Hacker.
Sounds like a great service. Beau Dietl Associates will do it for us. But before you start hacketation on, I don't want to hear any excusitations for you going into my email. All right?
Well, let me tell you.
I want to know ahead of time when if you get hired by this company.
No, I said with permission. We get an authorization.
Yeah, from the boss. You get permission from the boss. You don't get permission from everybody in the
Let
company.
me tell you something. Your email is very hackatated.
It's very
And you can get it. You can pop it in. And the funny thing about this, you go to a website of a corporation. Once you get yourself in there, you're able to bounce around and go all through the infrastructure of that corporation. People don't realize that is where the hackers go through, the website. You didn't know I was a little technically advanced.
Challenged.
No,
Advanced. It's advanced. Beau Dietl, thank you very much. By the way, bring Goodfellas this weekend. You can see Beau arrest Ray Liotta at the end of the movie.
Please, you.
That's him.
Okay.
That's
Thanks,
him.
Beau.
He does it. I'm not kidding. He's in the movie.
My hair was a little darker.
All right. Coming up on Contain New York, we're going to look at what's new at the movies this holiday weekend.